welcome to my YouTube channel. I can finally say this is my first YouTube video. I'm so happy, so excited. So I do want to start by saying thank you for watching. I went ahead and did this beautiful pink and purple, very glam eyeshadow tutorial. So if you want to see how I achieved this beautiful look, let's get into the video. So we are starting off with using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Stick Foundation in the shade Walnut. We are placing this on the hollows of our cheeks and on the side of our forehead. So now we're taking the Real Technique stippling brush. We are always going to blend this towards the hairline and in upward motion. Never blend downwards, just because it's going to look very muddy and it's going to take out the effects of your cheekbones being contoured. And same technique goes with blending your forehead. Always blend towards the hairline and upwards, never downwards. And this foundation stick is so good to use for contour. It's very creamy and super easy to blend. I really recommend it. Moving on to highlight, I used the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in the color Medium Tan Sand. I basically placed this underneath my eyes, down the bridge of my nose, my chin, and on my forehead. Taking a wet beauty blender, we are just going to blend all that concealer. And another little pro tip is to always use a triangle shape when concealing your under eyes, just because it helps hide those dark circles a lot better. I also blend some of the concealer onto my eyelids. It gives the eyeshadow a base, and it also helps the pigment of the eyeshadow pop a lot more. Using my Laura Mercier translucent powder, or any translucent powder that you use, you're going to take that and basically set all of the areas in which you have highlighted underneath the eyes, down the bridge of the nose, your forehead, and on your chin. Keep in mind that we are setting the translucent powder, not baking. You just push the product into your skin, and that will help your foundation last a lot longer without it looking oily. And now we're moving on to baking, which I'm pretty sure everyone knows how to bake. Just go right over all those areas with a little bit more powder and let it warm up on your skin. Using the Hoola Benefit bronzer, we are going to use this to go ahead and warm up all the areas in which we have contoured. And the same technique applies to powder bronzer. Always move upwards and into the hairline, never downwards. And 1 second while I hydrate. Using a powder brush, we are going to dust off all of that translucent powder. Taking the Hoola Benefit bronzer, we're going to use this powder to contour our nose. The way I contour my nose is basically simple. Just draw 2 lines as close as to the nose bone as possible without touching, just like so. And make sure that your lines are straight, because if not, your nose will give off the illusion of it being crooked, and that is not cute, sis. Now place some translucent powder on the side of your nose, right underneath that line that we just contoured. Please do not go over the line, because then you did all of that work for nothing. And put a little bit on the bridge of your nose. That will really bring out that highlight. Now taking the NARS bronzer in the shade St. Bart's, we are going to powder this all over our contour. Look how golden and beautiful this shade is. This bronzer is going to give us a golden dewy finish to our contour, and it looks absolutely stunning underneath natural lighting. I swear by this. Getting into the nitty-gritty with the eyeshadow, we are going to use the James Charles palette. How beautiful is this palette? I mean, the palette in itself is so versatile, from soft glams to very bold looks. This palette is a must-have. Using a Morphe R37 brush, which is basically just a fluffy blending brush, we are going to pick up some of that soft pink and working that into our crease. I really have to pick up a lot of that pigment just because it's very light. So just work yourself into the color until you get it into the shade that you desire. Using the Morphe R38, which is just another blending brush, we are going to pick up some of the hot pink color from the palette and work that into the lighter pink right underneath it into our crease, using back and forth motion. And really take your time with this color since it's a hot pink. We don't want to just pick up a lot all at once because then it's going to be really hard to blend. So just little by little pick it up and work it into the shade that you want using the back and forth motion. And by now it's safe to wipe off all that translucent powder off our nose, and look how snatched that nose is looking. Yes. Taking a pointed fluffy brush, this is the Morphe M330 brush, we are going to pick up the lightest purple in the palette and work that into our crease right on top of the hot pink. What this is going to do is just deepen that color. And again, back and forth motion, making sure we are blending, blending, blending. Listen, blending in makeup is key. And to bring those two colors together flawlessly, we are going to take the R37 brush, which is the one that we use for the light pink, and just blend those two colors out like so. And taking a flat fluffy brush, this one's from Wet n Wild, I believe I bought it at Target, very cheap. We are going to use a deep plum purple in the palette and focus that on the outer corner of our eyelids, right on that V-line. And as you can see, I'm using tapping motions first and then dragging the rest that's left on the brush into the crease because we want the outer corner to be darker. And remember that this is a very dark color, so pick up a little bit and work yourself onto the shade that you desire. A little bit went a long way in this color because I'm telling you, I just did a couple taps and it did the job. Taking the brush that we use for the baby pink, we are going to use that brush and blend all the colors together, circular motions back and forth, just making sure we don't have no harsh lines and the other colors are infused together. And this is what we have so far. How beautiful. And now to my favorite part, we are going to cut our crease. Place some of the concealer on the bottom part of your eyelid and just look up, and as you can see, it forms a little line for you, and that will be your guideline into cutting your crease. So you just drag your line right over that and making sure that your lines are as sharp as you can get it to be. And I find it a lot easier when I cut my crease to pull on my skin. You kind of just have to do what works best for you. So once that line is cut and sharpened, go ahead and fill in the rest of your eyelids. And remember, all of this is preference. You can cut as high or as low as you wish, or as far as you want it to have it. I always just do 3/4 of my eyelids. Taking the brush that we used earlier with the hot pink this time, I am doubling back on my eyelids with it just because I kind of felt like I lost that pink along the way, and I want to gain it back by doing just this. And remember, makeup doesn't have a specific rule. You just do what works best for you and what looks good on you. So taking the same brush with the hot pink, we are going to blend our outer corner of the cut crease, just pulling in that plum purple that we use on the outer shade, pulling that in towards the cut crease just so that it could be a beautiful blend and not just a harsh line. So I'm not a big fan of glitter and shimmer on my eyelids, but I saw this rose gold on the palette and I just had to do it, and it looks beautiful. And for our lower waterline, I'm just using this regular angle brush. It doesn't have a name to it. And I'm picking up the hot pink and basically really packing that onto my waterline. I'm using a lot just because I want that hot pink to really stand out. And on top of that hot pink, we are going to put some of that black powder that's in the palette and just put it right on top just to deepen that color, make it nice and dark. I'm also adding some shimmer into my inner eyes on the corner. I always do this, even when it's a soft glam. I either add silver or gold, but I don't know why. It just does something to me. Now we're adding some white powder from the palette, white eyeshadow, right underneath our brow bone just to give a cute little highlight, and this will bring the whole look together. And this is the final step, and we are moving back on to lashes. Yay! The lashes that I am using are from Sephora. It's called Aquamarine. I've been so obsessed with this lip combo. I'm using the NYX matte lip liner in the shade Moonwalk. It's just a beautiful dark nude. Followed by my Dolce lip gloss from J. Osoria. Look how beautiful these two just combine. I freaking love this. And by the way, this lip gloss is from my friend. She just launched her lip gloss line. I will put it all in the description so you can go ahead and order yours. Go ahead and set that makeup with some setting spray. This is the final look. I hope y'all enjoyed it as much as I've enjoyed filming it for you guys. Also, like, comment, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to follow me on my social medias, which will be linked on the description below. And keep an eye out because I have a lot more content coming up. Bye. See you next time.